Welcome to Rebecca Sounds Reveille. What a show. Like every show, I have someone for you that is going to just make you smile, make your head turn, and want to engage a little bit more. And today, not only is she going to tell us about things going on in her world, but she's going to give you some nuggets that are going to want to make you just get up and make your life move too. She's an actress. She's been in the industry for over 21 years with experience in acting from films to commercials. She has even landed a series regular role as Lily in Windward Circle. I'm going to let her tell you what the former show is with that, because I want you to just think of Lily, Windward Circle. This is important. And she has won Best Performance in a Television Series. So this is a pretty honorable award. I want her to be able to share the excitement in that, because the glory just needs to go there, especially as a guest starring young actress. You're going to hear more on that. She has also worked throughout the industry, in the film industry, in a number of different roles. And what I mean by that is she has not only been herself as an actress, but she has done producing, casting, production. And it's really kind of neat because most recently she has been behind the scenes on the new Nicolas Cage film. I'm going to let her share that one too, as an assistant production office coordinator. I am so jealous here. And there's more. She's got so much more. We're going to ask her about Baking Up Love and the new romance comedy. Love it. But we have more. There's more that we have to deliver. She's got to deliver specifically things that she's doing now. And she's going to let us in on some little insights with the boundaries, of course. Let's bring her on now. Alix Kermes, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Rebecca. I'm very excited.
I am too. You have just done so much. You've spent your life just dedicated to the industry, and the experiences that you are bringing to the table are just taking you places. I think a lot of people are saying, how in the world did she get there? So let me first ask, before we get to that, we're going to get to that later on, but how did you start out?
So I actually started way back when I was 2 years old. My parents took me to go and get just like 2-year-old photos, just for the house. And while I was there, the photographer was like, hey, she's paying attention. She's moving her head. She's listening to the directions and she's enjoying it. And he's like, you should maybe look at a modeling agency for her. So my parents went ahead, took me to a modeling agency up in the Minneapolis market at the time, modeled for them, did lots of print work. And then at the age of 5 years old, I actually signed on for acting as well. So that was when I first started, again, in the Minneapolis market. And then at the age of 6, I started going out to Los Angeles every summer for 3 months. We would go and stay, and then also in the pilot season. So I would go out for a month, either in February or March with my mom. My dad and brother and sister would come and visit and whatnot. But I did that from age 6 to 15. And so I spent 4 months out of the year out in LA acting. And then I was still acting and modeling in the Minneapolis market. And then from there, it just kind of one project led to another. And that was actually what landed me in the role of Lily.
I love this. Did you know, did the concept of what you were doing at a young age really click, or was it later on that it just sort of hit you, I am really very involved and very good at what I do?
It was definitely later on. For when I was younger, it's like riding a bike to me. It's legit what I've known since I was 5. So there's no memories that I have really of before this. And so it wasn't until actually after I'd taken a step back from the industry, after I'd completed my schooling, I wanted to go to complete my degree. So I got my bachelor's degree. And after all of that, I kind of came back to the industry and I was like, you know what, this is where I'm passionate. This is where I want to be, and jumped back into it. And I was like, whoa, all right, all of those years have really propelled me and opened those networks for me to come back to it as an adult.
That's pretty neat, because oftentimes you'll see parents that get their children involved either in modeling or even stage and theater, or a child actor. They become really big and then they just kind of disappear and everybody's going, what happened? Where did they go? And they have all this training and experience that really could bring some things to life on screen as an adult. And so this is pretty neat how you're doing this. How did you end up getting Lily? I mean, did you have to go through a huge process? I mean,
yes. So the role of Lily was the spinoff of Windward. Well, it was going to be titled Windward Circle, which was the spinoff series of Gilmore Girls. Mm-hmm. So Milo Ventimiglia was actually going to be getting his own show, who played Jesse on Gilmore Girls, one of Rory's boyfriends. He was getting his own show. So it was through the WB, and I had to go through, I think, 5 or 6 rounds of auditions at 9 years old. Wow. And by the final audition, it was myself in there, and it was down to myself and one other girl. And I walked in and it was just a room full of like 30 some adults, from the producers to the directors to the writers, like people like very high up at WB. And I didn't comprehend really how big of a deal this was at this point. I was excited, but I mean, my mom knew how big this was because we'd been on a million auditions, and to get to the final level was just incredible. And so I went in there, did my thing. It was down to me and one other girl. And then they gave my agents the call, and they called my mom and let her know that I had landed it. And so we signed the whole contract to go. It was multiple years. And then unfortunately the show did fall through due to funding, because at that time we didn't have all these streaming platforms where you could just put a show on any different one. There, you had to have a specific slot on the network. And so we actually lost it to One Tree Hill. So
that's interesting.
If I'm going to lose it, I guess One Tree Hill was a pretty good show to lose it to.
I mean, to be that close. I mean, that's
it started out with thousands of girls, and they brought it down to 2.
Yes.
It was wild.
I mean, to hear how many rounds you had to go through is incredible, because oftentimes people it's a one and done. You go in, and then I guess the good thing about something like this is that when you go through that first audition, I mean, everybody who's been on audition knows when you leave there, you're thinking, I should have done this. I shouldn't have done that. I could have done this just a tad bit better. Maybe I need to practice this a little bit more. And so this self-critiquing is really kind of heavy.
Yes.
But I guess being able to perfect it just a little bit more because you had additional
time
auditions, it was, that would have been a good thing. But that's an arduous thing. That's very nerve-wracking. And
I mean, there's only so many ways you can do it. And I think the biggest thing is how many people need to keep seeing it. But at the time, it wasn't, you didn't put yourself on tape. You had to walk in there and go into the audition. Each person was seeing you. Like, you could mail in, and we were starting to do that I think that was around that time, maybe a little later. We started putting tapes on VHSs and legit mailing them to LA at the time. But when we were in LA, everything, you had to go in, do the audition. And sometimes they had a camcorder in there. Sometimes they didn't. They would still take your Polaroid picture. So it was just, it's completely different than even nowadays. Because nowadays you put yourself on tape, they can send that. They may have you come do it in a different way or do a chemistry read or something, but 6 levels, they can just pass those along now in a tape.
Yeah. The difference is over time is so different. I mean, from when I did auditions back growing up in Los Angeles, and this is back in the 80s, 90s, a long time ago, to where it's at now, it's just like, it's just like night and day. And I'll never forget my first big audition. And it was so challenging, and so many people showed up, and you had to wait, and it wasn't you didn't have an appointed time. So it's just an open casting call. Yeah. And so they call them cattle calls then, but
yeah, they still did. When I was going out to LA for a while, they were still calling them cattle calls.
So, I mean, it was, you would be next to somebody and you hear them practicing and then you're thinking, do I have to do it like that? And there's just so much that goes into it, but you really have had such a really well-rounded life before that gave you experience to know what to expect, at least on the surface. Yeah, going into it and how to prepare. And this is something I want to point out to those that are listening. Preparation is the key to success in just about everything that you do. I mean, every once in a while, there's somebody lands the perfect job or the perfect role or the perfect whatever. But most of the time, we really need to be prepared so that we can just nail it. So tell me what else you got going on. Because I mean, there's some big things in your world.
Yeah. So right now it's getting busy. I'm kind of just between projects. I wrapped up on the Nicolas Cage film in August, and now it's rolling into at the end of October, early November. We're finalizing dates. We actually have a table read coming up here tomorrow for Vagary, a Viking Tale. So this series, I'm very, very excited about this one. This one is a TV series, and it's going to be it's about an argumentative group of Vikings that they're sailing around and they're trying to find a lost brother. And they end up actually getting lost stuck in a different dimension. They're tossed into a whole different world or plane of existence here. And so now they have to navigate this. And my character is actually one of the warriors in this alternate world that is out they're not necessarily, I would say they're at war, I guess, with another group. And so I am protecting the land side. And so I take it upon myself to go and interact with them. Okay. And so I can't share much about it, but this one we're going to be filming the pilot series. And with this one, it's really, really cool because we're using Unreal Engine technology. And so we're working with Darnell Williams. He's the founder of Electroshock. And what's so cool about this series to me is that you can actually place live actors inside this digital realm environment that they've created. So they've created a whole world digitally, and they can place us inside of this world. And so it's kind of taking on a whole new twist to the film industry, because instead of adding in explosions and gunshots and lasers and whatever you may need to add in, you can have that going at the same time that the actors are standing right there. So it's really cool. And you can put in like other, you can kind of put in like virtual characters, or just, it's a really cool technology that we're going to be playing with here. And so that will be filming the pilot episode here at the end of the month. And then in February, we have Dimming Lights and more projects coming.
I love this. I got to go back to this digital world because I'm thinking a couple of things. So if we have this digital world, does your character become AI or does it you?
It's still us. So they can hook up. Yeah. So it's interesting how they do it. So it's basically, and they've got this whole world built and they can film, and behind us it's green screen or the wire, whatever they need to do. They can hook us up to the wires if they need to get specific movements, if they need to put anything on us, or if there's like in Avatar, like let's just use them for an example, where they are in scenes with these completely other different characters. With Unreal Engine, you could actually put, the actors wouldn't see it, but the camera would see a various model of one of the avatars on the screen with the actors. Now the actors are still looking, but when you're filming, you can kind of see how those things are going to come together. You can see a fake character or a made up avatar coupled with a human in the camera.
So I have these ideas just exploding on how this particular dimension could interact with some things. And now I don't know if I want to give it all away, because this could be something pretty big.
It will be very cool.
Wow. This is a biggie. This is definitely something the audience needs to pay attention to, because this is new. This is fresh. And what's going to happen once you guys deliver it, people are going to emulate it and they're going to want to be part of it. And everybody's going to be shooting things in this kind of.
Yes. This series is very cool. It's hard to kind of even compare it to another series, but what I think of it is it's got almost like a Game of Thronesy type vibe, like a Lord of the Rings type. Like it's going off in different dimensions. You've got 3 different, completely different groups, all on the same screen coming together at the same time. You've got the Vikings, and then you've got the 2 other groups that are kind of at war in this other universe or dimension. And this script is under like lock and key, but I am so excited. Like, we've had numerous meetings. The production is moving right along. They're getting it finalized with casting. We're doing our table read. And then we'll have the pilot coming out here soon, and then they'll market it. And
for you to be part of something this unique, massive.
I'm excited.
So I want to talk too about your award. I mean, what a prestigious honor it is to have best performance in a television series.
Yeah, and that was actually for acting opposite of Taye Diggs on Kevin Hill. So that one I filmed again right before I left the industry to go to finish schooling. So I was 11. I'm trying to think how old I would have been, around maybe 2003. And that was through the Young Artist Awards. And so I was nominated for my appearance opposite of Taye Diggs on his show, Kevin Hill. And it was incredible. So we got to go, it's basically kind of like a mini Oscars for all of the young child actors out in Hollywood. And so they bring everyone out. I mean, you had Raven from That's So Raven. You've had, I'm trying to think of even who else has all been there. I'm drawing a blank, but the girls, like when Sleepover was big, all of them got nominated for it. And it was just really cool to see all these childhood actors coming together. You get to dress up, you get to go on stage, you get to accept your award. And it's kind of inspiring to have that and know like of the potential that you can move forward with. All right.
Speaking of potential, and I've just got to say this because this is incredible. So there's so many people that want to go in, they want to get into acting, they want to do this, they want to do that. Some people are just like, I can only do stunts. But girl, you got it going on, because not only do you have experience in acting and casting and production and being a producer, you got some talents here that I think will blow the audience mind when they're watching this and they go, oh my gosh, this girl can do that. Can you give us some of the things that you do?
Yeah. So in regards to the casting, so I've recently started working with Angela on casting for a couple of projects. And so it's something that this industry is all about networking. And I have always believed that the more you network, the more successful you will be. And in life in general, whatever job you're needing, networking is the key, but especially when it comes to this, because there are so many projects out there, and people like working with people they know, people like pulling their friends into projects. And so with the casting side, it's really cool because you get to see, first off, on a whole different level, what casting directors are looking for. So as an actress, you're sitting here listening to what they're looking for in a tape, what they don't like, what they like. You're getting to really see how to propel yourself forward first and foremost. And then second off, you're also working with people and connecting them to different projects in a way that you would never have expected. So I'm on the phone with the directors. I'm on the phones with the writers, on the phone with Angela. We're talking about what they're needing. And then we're looking at our network. Who do we know? And and then going through the breakdowns, making sure everyone matches, bringing them together, and just making those simple introductions. And I think that is what is so big, because in some of these past projects that I've worked on, you get to know these people on a whole different level. When you're on set with people for 3-4 months or even a month, you get to know them in a very in-depth level of life.
Yes.
And so, and as you connect with these people, they may say, hey, have you reached out to this director? I think you might be a fit for this role. And so it's taking just that simple, hey, I may know someone. So just walked in. That, hey, I may know someone for this position or this role. Let's connect them and see if we can make this work. Mm-hmm. So the casting side is really cool. I've just started recently as the casting producer and associate with her on that. As far as like the production, I had so much fun, and I think learned the most about this industry in 1 month on the new Nicolas Cage film, The Old Way. So that one was absolutely incredible. And just all around holistic experience of seeing, you get bits and pieces as an actress, but so much of this stuff is hidden from the talent, or not even hidden, but just, it all seems to flow so easily. And as the APOC, the assistant production office coordinator, you're looking at, you're diving in, you're helping out with paperwork, you're helping out with lodging, flights, making sure that the food is there, making sure that the camera equipment is rental, making sure that the passenger vans are there. And you're really seeing what it takes to put a production, to move it forward each and every day. And it does take an army. And so that one was just an all around. I haven't learned that much in that short of amount of time in a very long time. And I was just sitting there soaking everything in. Again, the connections that you make on just even a project like that, it's networking. You can call up those people again, pick their brains, talk to them about what they're doing. And you never know when that's going to come back, or how you can help them moving forward, or how they help you. Like, it's all connected.
It really is. And I always try to encourage people to think about in your everyday walk of life, who you come across and how that's going to end up interacting with you. I was on a plane from Sacramento to LA, and I ended up sitting next to someone, and the conversation, I'm a people person, and I really like helping other people. And I had no idea how this was going to end up affecting me. We had a conversation going, and the next thing I know, we're pretty much landing in the same area. They have a production company, and I ended up getting a lead and anyway, it's a long story, but you never know how these things end up coming out. So always just networking, because even if you don't know if that person doesn't have something direct for you, you might for them, or they might know someone, or vice versa, you might. So I think 100% of what you're saying is so true about networking. It's incredible. And I can't say enough about it, especially in the climate that we're in right now. This is a very competitive time in every single walk of life when it comes to employment or possibility. And this is where we have to say to ourselves, hey, we have to have positive self-talk so we can launch ourselves and really place us ahead of the pack, because that's really what's going to take, is that confidence. And with what you're talking about, you gain that the more you network, because people 100%. Are going to share things with you. But there's something else about you specifically that I think that is just going to blow the minds of everybody out there. And I'm going to give it a tidbit: snowmobiles and snowboarding.
Yeah. I've grown up, I absolutely love the outdoors. I've grown up grew up skiing on snow. And then I grew up water skiing and skiing. And then in high school, I actually transitioned to snowboarding, but I grew up in Minnesota. So I've always liked the outside, especially the summer months is where my heart is. But I've grown up snowmobiling. I snowboard, I water ski, jet ski, paddleboard, you name it. I'm outside. I love the outdoors. And then when I was younger, I actually had a horse. So I went through and was completely trained in Western style horseback riding, which actually has come in handy now twice for filming. Once on the film Joy and Hope. However, that one was English. So we had to improvise real quick on that one. Yeah. So I got trained pretty quick on how to do some English style for that film. And then I've actually got a Western coming up, and that one will be all Western riding. And my character, April, is actually a horse trainer on that one in Strangers of the Night.
I love this. And I want to share, not only is everybody going to be like, wow, I cannot believe all of this talent is right here, is just completely well-rounded. And you're going to be able to utilize these things that you enjoy doing into other projects. And that's something oftentimes we forget. Things that we do that we just enjoy, we forget that we might have mastered that, or it's become such a passion that it could actually come into play for something that we're doing later. And so all of these things are absolutely incredible, and you are just rocking it. I know that there's more to come. I know that somewhere around February, you have some things coming up, and I'm not dropping the ball right now because I want to bring you back to talk about some more of those things and then how things just went recently. But before I kind of let you go, I want to hear a little bit about your new romantic comedy,
Baking Up Love.
Yes.
So that is now streaming on PureFlix. That was released October 1st. We had so much fun filming this. It was absolutely an amazing project. We were working with writer-director Candace Kane on that one, and we went into a small town in Illinois, Morton, Illinois, and it is actually the pumpkin capital of the world, which is pretty fitting for this film, being that I am a baker, and this film was truly written for this city. So the unique part is I played a character, Lynn, and I owned the confectionery in this film, and it's a romantic comedy. And so there is a bakery called The Confectionery, and the owner is actually Lynn. And so there are so many little Easter eggs in this film. And we just had an amazing time with this. Jason Frederick and Michael Benini, who played opposite of me, they were both kind of love interests in this film. They did a phenomenal job. We had I can't even tell you how much fun we had making this stuff.
It sounds like it was a lot of fun, and being able to connect all these dots from what's here to what's in reality. I mean, it's going to end up being a tourist attraction.
Yeah. And that's one thing that it was cool. Cause when I went back, the mayor had us come back for the parade during the actual pumpkin festival. And so we've went back a couple of times. We went for the premiere, and I had several people approach me while I was in town, and they're like, oh, you were in the movie. We just went to the confectionery. We wanted to see where it was. We actually had them show us around, and they showed us where we were filming, or we visited the different shops that were featured in the film. And so it was cute to see how excited they got over their town. And what's unique about this film is so many times it's a made up story and it's made up place and characters. This is like a little time capsule of Morton, Illinois, all kind of pulled into this film. So you'll see so many of the people of Morton, which are called Mortonites. They're featured in this, and it's just a really cool project with a great story. It's just a cute, fun, feel good movie. And it's on PureFlix, which is a faith-based, family-friendly streaming platform. And it was just really fun to film. I enjoyed it. And Morton has like a piece of my heart now from it. I've spent so much time there over this past summer, and I'm excited about it. You should definitely check it out.
I'm excited for you too. And here's what I'm thinking. This is what I'd like all of you who are listening out there and watching out there. Here's what I'd like you to do. If you get some free time over the next week or so, I challenge you to go watch this romantic comedy and then put that on your Christmas watch list and have it running so that your friends and your family when they're coming over and during the holiday time, you have something new and exciting and whimsical to see. And it's something different. We've had so much dapper stuff going on. This is going to bring some smiles and just the warm and fuzzies. And we never say that anymore either, but I'm really excited about that. So I'm challenging everybody to be able to watch it at least twice between now and Christmas.
There we go. I like it.
I want to thank you so much, Alix, for everything that you're doing. I'd like the audience to connect with you because I think everything that you have going on is going to take you to places that the audience is wanting to stay abreast of. And so if you'll share how you would like them to connect with you and the best places, let's do it.
So the best and most updated is always going to be my Instagram, which is just Alix, Alix Kermes, Kermes. And that is where I'm going to have behind the scenes little tidbits when I'm on set filming. That's where I'll make all of like the big announcements whenever I get attached to a project. That's where it usually will hit first. You can go ahead and follow on my website as well if you want to check that out. That's alixkermes.net. And then those are really the two biggest ones I use. I have Facebook as well, but that kind of just populates from Instagram. So the biggest two would be Instagram, which is Alix Kermes, and then the website, alixkermes.net.
I love this. I thank you so much for being on today. I am so proud of this. Yes. And I'm so proud of your current accomplishments. I know that all the stuff that you are doing is going to take you to bigger things, and the things that are going to be coming your way are going to absolutely take your breath away and the audience. So thank you.
Thank you. We've got big things in the works. So I'm excited to tell you about them next time too.
I'm right there, but I was like, no, okay, we got to wait. So I want to thank
unscripted series too in the works.
Ooh.
So we'll see.
Oh boy, this is great. I love this. I love it. I love it. I want to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of Rebecca Sounds Reveille. Make sure that you connect with Alix on all these different levels. Head over to PureFlix. Let's get this challenge going 2 times. You get to watch it once now, either alone or with some friends or family now, but definitely during the holidays when everybody's relaxing and you're trying to figure out what to play, just have a lineup going so that you can put it on a loop and watch it multiple times. That's totally cool too, but that's your challenge, everybody, too, between now and Christmas. I think
that and network.
Yes. Gotta let me not forget. And so if you will make sure, we can't say the SH anymore. So if you'll do that click thing where it heads out and gets out to your friends and your family, I really encourage you to do that. And I'd like you to also get it to everybody you don't know. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.